All right, guys, welcome back to the next modular. So we have the next plate spinning. The next funnel that we have is actually wholesalers. So if you're not planning to wholesale yourself, but you want to find the deals to invest in properties yourself and flip them deal, first let's talk about what is a wholesaler. And I want to play this short 2-minute video real fast to kind of explain things. If you haven't already taken Mitch's class about wholesaling already, but let's go ahead and go over this real quick, just for those of you as a refresher course, so you understand exactly what is a wholesaler and what that is. So let's watch this video real fast.
You want to get out of that rat race, and you also know that real estate is a great way to get massive and passive income that can pull you out of the rat race. But you don't have the $200,000 to put into a flip, or even $30,000 to $50,000 for down payment on a rental property, let alone the team to help you do the remodel and everything that comes with it. How about a strategy that requires zero funds, zero team, and something you can do in your PJs? Welcome to How To Real Estate, a channel that gives you all the how-tos you need to start, elevate, and catapult your real estate before you implement any strategies seen on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to get daily how-to videos, and thank you for sharing and hitting that bell button. Today we're going to be talking about selling paper for $2,000 to $60,000. You heard me right, selling paper. But I know what you're thinking. This is a real estate channel. How does selling paper have anything to do with real estate? Well, that's wholesaling, my friends. Imagine you find someone that needs to sell their house fast, like really fast. Maybe they're going through divorce, foreclosure, bankruptcy, or their house is condemned with meth or even fire. You can offer to buy their house for cash. Hang on a minute. I know what you're thinking. But Jared, I don't have cash to buy someone's house, or even a team to flip it. Don't worry, we will come to that in a second. You and the seller agree on the purchase price, a closing date, and you get it all in writing using your local real estate purchase contract. The next step is you find a cash buyer that's looking for his next big deal. You tell him about the deal you have under contract. He's excited for the chance of getting another deal with big profits. You offer to sell your rights to the contract for assignment fee. Let's just say, for this example, $10,000. 2 weeks later, at closing, you get $10,000. And all you did was sell the rights to the contract. Okay, so technically you never sold paper, you just sold the rights to your contract, but it's still worth $10,000. And it's a win-win scenario. The seller wins, the buyer wins, and you win. That's our video for today. If you guys want to learn a little...
All right, guys, so that was a quick little tutorial of what exactly is wholesaling, or a refresher course of anything, of what exactly is wholesaling. So just kind of recap, a wholesaler, what they'll do is they'll do the legwork, right? So I'm a wholesaler myself, so I'll do the legwork. I'll find the motivated seller. I will get the property on a contract at a decent price, hopefully. And then I will take my contract and I will sell my rights to that contract to someone else, to a flipper, to someone that wants to buy and hold. In any of those scenarios, that's what a wholesaler does. So if you don't necessarily want to wholesale, but you're looking for a deal to flip, to keep as a buy and hold, reaching out to wholesalers is a great way to find off-market deals at a discounted price. Let them do the legwork. Now, they're going to get their assignment fee, but honestly, as long as the numbers make sense for you, it doesn't matter how much the wholesaler is going to make, whether they make $1,000 or $100,000. As long as your numbers make sense to you, then there should be no problem. I've seen a lot of people I've seen people turn down deals, even though it fit all their criteria, all of the things that they wanted in a deal. They're still going to make the amount of profit. They're going to make $40,000 on this profit. The deal was great, but they got tied up or hung up on how much the wholesaler was going to make. They found out the wholesaler was going to make almost the same amount. Like, well, it's not fair. I'm doing all the work. Well, it doesn't matter what the wholesaler makes. As long as you make your numbers, that's all that matters. Okay, so let's find out a couple of different ways on how to find wholesalers. Now, you want to get wholesalers that are out there doing some work. So we talked about bandit signs before. A lot of people that have bandit signs, they're wholesalers themselves. So as you're driving around, if you see a bandit sign that says "We buy houses," go ahead and give them a call. Ask them if they're a wholesaler or if they know good wholesalers. That's a great way to get connected with people that are in the grind, that are in shaking. So call them. I've actually added people to my wholesalers list because they've done this exact same thing. They've called off my bandit sign and saying, "Hey, I'm not trying to sell a house. I'm actually looking to buy it. Can you add me to your wholesale list?" Like, oh, sure, yeah, no worry, no problem, man. What's your criteria? I got the information. Is fantastic. So calling off of bandit signs is a great way to find wholesalers. Another great way is once we is to go into the real estate groups on Facebook. So Facebook has lots of opportunities with real estate, just social media in general, lots of opportunities. But I always just Google in the real estate groups here locally, whatever state and city, country, whatever that you're looking to invest in. Just join as many of those groups as you possibly can, and honestly, just do a simple post like, "Who's my wholesalers out there? I'm looking for wholesalers. I need to connect with more wholesalers." Do a couple of those posts, man, and they'll fill up your comments like crazy. Who's my wholesalers that closed 5 deals in the last 2 months? That's a great way to actually get connected with wholesalers that are doing a lot of deals. And what I recommend as well is to get connected with wholesalers that are just starting out, because once wholesalers are getting established, and once wholesalers are actually doing their business, they're doing well, they're getting a lot of deals. A lot of times they don't send deals out to everyone else. They send it to their top 5 buyers. Like me, for example, when I get deals, I don't necessarily even send them out as a mass email anymore. I just have my top 5 guys that I sell my deals to. Mitch Nelson is actually one of them. And so anything that fits his criteria, I'll just give him a call and say, "Hey, Mitch, I got one for you." And then he'll say yes or no. And then I'll call my next guy. And only when all their plates are full, that's when I'll send it out to the masses as far as getting those emails out. So it's a great way to get a hold of new wholesalers as well. Can you kind of grow with them, and then you become the top 5 guy or gal in any scenario. So connecting on Facebook is a great way to find wholesalers and even buyers. If you're a wholesaler and want to get a buyer, just say, "Hey, I'm a wholesaler. I'm looking to add to my buyers list on these Facebook groups," and your comments will blow up. Local real estate meetups are a great way to get connected to wholesalers. Now, this is obviously once the COVID restrictions are lifted, depending on when you're watching this video. Obviously, we're recording in 2020, so we're in this pandemic and fun stuff. So once we're actually able to get connected with the real estate meetups groups, honestly, they're pretty easy. You could go to whatever state you're in, Nevada, RIA, Utah, RIA, or even just go to meetups.com, and you can just put in your interest is real estate, when's the meetup, and you can start networking and say, "Hey, my name is Jared. I'm getting started to flip. Do you know any wholesalers? And I'll start talking and communicating to people." And so that's how. And wholesalers they want to get to know as many buyers as they can. So they will be more than happy to gather your information and put you on their wholesale list. Now here's a word to the wise. Something you have to do. Now this is coming from a wholesaler, and this is coming from a wholesaler that does a lot of deals. Never trust a wholesaler's numbers. Let me repeat that again. Never trust a wholesaler's numbers. In fact, or anything they say. Never trust a wholesaler's numbers or anything they say. Now, I'm not saying every wholesaler is dishonest or they're intentionally trying to mislead you, but some are. And some are very much trying to mislead you because they want their commission. Or not the commission, they want their wholesale fee. And sometimes they're just wrong. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people, because wholesaling, it's a great entry for real estate investing because it doesn't take a lot of money to get into wholesaling. The wholesaling, the wholesalers usually go onto the 1 or 2 scale with the time and money. And so they can just put in their time and efforts and very little money to get assignment fees. They don't have to worry about, gathering up, raising funds to buy the property, nothing like that at all. They can just get a deal, sign a contract, and start that way. It's a lot of people start that way. So these wholesalers are possibly very inexperienced as far as actually doing a flip themselves. Now they're running their numbers off of their experiences, which is basically nothing. So when I say don't trust their numbers, I really mean it. So what you want to do is trust but verify. So if they're saying their profits are this much, you want to do your own deal analysis, your own comps, through your own agents, through your own methods of doing comparables. So you want to make sure you verify and verify and verify before you give a wholesaler the non-refundable and actually sign any documents. Okay? It's very important to do so. And also you want to make sure that you read everything the wholesaler does. A lot of times the wholesaler asks for a non-refundable. That's very common. The non-refundable is kind of like a earnest money deposit on that particular deal. So you want to make sure that you see the contract with the property. And if you work with wholesalers, through referrals, it's even better, because you want to make sure you get people that's trustworthy. Of course, that's not going to try to screw you. And also you want to deal with title companies that have worked with wholesalers before, so they kind of understand the steps and process. Even if as you go through the first couple, it's going to be you're going to be learning as you go, right? So always trust but verify. You can negotiate with wholesalers, right? A lot of wholesalers, they'll say the best offer. Now, because the wholesalers, a lot of these guys are inexperienced as far as flipping goes, you can educate them a little bit. Like, you know what, it's going to cost me actually $20,000 more than what you're saying here. I mean, unless you know a guy that can, and whenever they get a rebuttal, like, oh, I can do it for 20, or I can do the rehab for 20, and I'm saying it's 40. I always ask them, like, oh, great, can you tell me your contractor's name? Because I love to give them the job, because I always like to get, okay, and if they really do have someone that can do it for 20,000 instead of 40, then that's you got a great connection right there. So you can negotiate with the wholesalers, right? That's very, very doable. It's communicated. Sometimes I've actually had to go back to my seller as a wholesaler and had to renegotiate because the deal was just too high. There wasn't enough spread in it, and I have had to do that before in the past. Even though it's very rare for me, but you can negotiate. You can talk with them. If they're not willing to come down, then that's fine. And you always my favorite word in real estate is next. So if you get a wholesale deal, it's not that great, let's hit next. Don't worry about it. More will come, especially if you get it on a lot of wholesalers list. Now, this is a great way to kind of get into deals without having to do a lot of legwork. Get as many wholesalers lists as you can. Do your due diligence, and when you find something that's actually ready to go, you jump on it, and jump on it quick too. And they will ask for I did mention this a little earlier, but they will ask for non-refundable. That is normal. And I do want to give you guys a little insight as far as the wholesaler world. I've had a lot of people complain to me about why am I asking for non-refundable? Well, you got to put yourself a little bit in the wholesaler situation. So they got this deal, and if I get in a contract with the wholesaler, hey, I'm going to buy this deal. I'm going to bring the funds in, and let's just say I don't perform on the contract. I couldn't come up with the money, or I get second guess it, and I just want to back out. Well, now the wholesaler's in a tough situation because he or she has so much time to close on the deal. So if I say I'm gonna sign up and do it, and then I back out like a day before closing, now the wholesaler has only 1 day to actually close on the property, find another buyer. So the wholesaler can actually has the potential of losing the deal altogether if he or she cannot get an extension. So that's one reason why vast majority of wholesalers ask for a non-refundable as part of the purchase of the property. They want to make sure at least they walk away with something, either to recoup the costs that they put in to get the deal, or at least to recoup the cost for the time they put in the deal. So it is very fair and common for wholesalers to ask for non-refundable. Just make sure before you give them non-refundable, you've done all the due diligence before you've given them that money. You want to make sure this is the deal for you. You ran your numbers, you ran your comps, you had your contractor walk through the property, and then and only then do you give them non-refundable. No matter what they say, oh, I got other guys looking for it. They're going to give you a lot of talk about a lot of people coming. If someone grabs it before you, that's fine. Just get the next one. That's okay. It's always get next instead of buying a deal that you don't want.